as it races to position itself as the destination of choice for conferences and events, Uganda Tourism Board is now engaging owners of events and conference venues to see how they can actually position themselves well to help the country host such activities. Now, what is happening at the moment is that UTB is now training stakeholders across the entire value chain to see how, again, they can reinforce this position. Now, we'll delve into details of that in our subsequent shows. It is Money and Markets. I'm Charles Boyd, your host. Welcome. To start us off, and a bit anchored on our preamble already mentioned, we speak to the country head of Uganda Tourism Board to find out what they are doing to position Uganda as a major tourism destination beyond just events and conferences.
This is really our responsibility is given to us, you know, in the mandate spelled out in the Tourism Act 2008. One is to promote Uganda as a preferred tourism destination. And so we have a number of strategies we used in promoting Uganda as a tourism destination domestically, regionally, and internationally. And we are also making a very good use of the digital, you know, platform, because internationally, with the lockdowns across the world, we realize that everyone has now shifted attention to the digital platforms, and that's where we are making our presence also felt. And to product development, we work very closely with the private sector to ensure that we diversify the products that we are offering to the market, both for the domestic market but also for the international market. The interest of the domestic market might not necessarily be the interest of the international. So we are carefully working out with the different private sector partners. And of course, we are really calling out to all Ugandans there, you know, who have the resources to invest in tourism, because the opportunity of recovering your investment and making money out of it is very high. Yeah, and especially now as we are positioning ourselves as the preferred destination, especially in Africa, it's the opportune time to bring the investment in the tourism sector, because we believe that with the effort and the strategies we have in place now, in the next 2 to 5 years, you know, there will be a drastic change with the growth in the sector. Our competitiveness is in the diversity that we are as a destination. Uganda has the depth, the range, and the variety that Africa has here. It is very unique. If we are talking cultural tourism, we have diversity of culture in this country. If we are talking of adventure tourism, from mountaineering to rafting to bungee jumping to zip lining, we have it here. You can experience it here. To the nature, the wildlife. I mean, we have 54% of the world population of mountain gorillas, the chimpanzees, you know, the big five, we have them. We always sell ourselves as a destination of the big five plus the two, yeah? So the big five is what everyone knows, and then our two includes the mountain gorillas and the chimpanzees. Beyond all the others, we have 50% of the African birds population, you know, in terms of the identified species in Uganda. So our uniqueness, our competitive positioning is really the diversity that we offer. And that also means that we are a destination that offers value for money. It becomes cheaper for an international to fly into Uganda and experience all this diversity as opposed to flying from one country to another to experience the different things. One of the biggest attractions of internationals to any African destination for tourism is wildlife. We have it. Culture, we have it. Yeah, adventure, we have it. So really, there's no reason why we should not be the number one. Ugandans need to prepare a little bit better for the growth that we expect. We recently put up a notice about, as the regulator as well, we are mandated to regulate the sector, so we are calling upon all Ugandans who are in the tourism business to register and get licensed by Uganda Tourism Board, because that's the only way you get to do your business legally. And to the next level, after registering and getting your license, we are also preparing to start grading the facilities. Yeah, because we need to match the quality to the pricing. Right now, that's one of our challenges, because the gap seems to be too wide, so we need to narrow that down by making sure that there is assessment, done to say, yes, you're a 2-star hotel, you're a 3-star because of your level of service, because of the kind of facility you have. The guides, same way, the grading of guides, you're level 1 because really you're new in the business, your level of knowledge is still low. And if you're grade 3, you're up there, and your cost should also match the level of knowledge, the quality of service that you're providing. So we call upon, the Ugandans who are in the tourism business to respond to this call. Our registration is online. You go to the Uganda Tourism Board website and you will be able to download the registration form. Well, some of the things that are in plan is, we know that tourism has two aspects to it. There is the leisure tourism that we are always talking all the time, but in Uganda Tourism Board, we are also positioning ourselves for MICE. That is the business tourism. MICE is meetings, incentives, conferences, and events. So we are positioning ourselves appropriately for that. And in the near future, we would want to see that Uganda is not only trending and is positioned for just the leisure tourism, but also for the business tourism, where we get all these international conferences and meetings happening in this country. And we are, we were already pre-COVID, we were making good progress, where in 2018, we were rated the 10th best destination in Africa for MICE. 2019, we went up to being the 6th. We had positioned ourselves to be among the top 3, at least in 2020. COVID interrupted that, so we are positioning ourselves for that. And besides that, we are positioning ourselves to work more closely with the private sector to improve quality of service, but also to market this destination more aggressively to both Ugandans and the internationals. Key to this is that we refreshed our destination branding to explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, which really defines what this destination is about.
Now, Uganda has been party to several trade arrangements or market access arrangements, some bilateral, but others group market access arrangements, like, of course, COMESA. Then you can talk about the EU market access agreements, several of them that Uganda has been party to, the East African Common Market. But the key question we ask here, is Uganda's problem market access or presence? Let's find out. Uganda has for years been looking at increased production and trade to reduce its balance of trade deficit position, which has for years remained unfavorable, despite improvements in certain areas. As of September 2023, it stood at $190 million. So while much debate has been about push for more access to key markets, experts believe that the discussions should now go beyond that.
But I think as a country and as business people, we need to transit from this concept of market access. I think it has outlived its usefulness. We now need to be talking about market presence. Having access to a market and not being present in that market does not effectively contribute to the objective, to realizing the objective.
Uganda is today part of many federated markets, including the East African Common Market, COMESA, and the recently activated Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Despite being party to these trade arrangements, the country, however, still has good ground to cover to optimize dividends out of being party to such arrangements, all associated to being effectively present in those markets.
So market presence. And market presence is all about meeting the standards of the destination market, being able to sustain the volumes, okay, as well as being able to respond to those markets, because sometimes demand goes up, sometimes goes down, but you should be able to.
The question is that for the country like Uganda with many SMEs, how do you get them on board for the benefit of many in the population?
Sustain that. So for the SMEs, and this is what we are working on, some SMEs may not be able to produce at a scale that is required by the international market, okay, especially if you're supplying a big chain that has distribution points all over the world or in a particular country or a particular continent. So we are encouraging the small and micro enterprises to produce, okay, feed into the free zones for onward transmission to the global market. So that's what we call the backward and the forward linkages. So once we integrate that, then everybody is going to benefit, because most of the free zones that we have are actually processors. They are processors. They are not, collecting at the village level, county level, district level. No. So that's the advantage that the SMEs have. They can tap into that and benefit. Of course, their profit margins will go up, but the volumes.
Under the free zones, where producers of goods for export enjoy, among others, tax and investment incentives, government is keen on building the country's export muscle in order to shorten the trade deficit, where today we're still importing more than we export. The question that remains, though, is how much mentorship has been extended to local businesses, especially MSMEs, on how to benefit from these opportunities.